Welcome back to In Business. Hollywood and Silicon Valley are locked right now in a high-stakes battle over anti-piracy legislation, and it's being considered by Congress. It's called the Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA. Is it censorship, or is it good business? Here are some of the details. SOPA would allow the government and private companies to shut down websites enabling copyright infringement. Now, SOPA is supported by groups like the Motion Picture Association of America and the Recording Industry Association of America because they want to protect, they say, industry jobs and revenue, the products they put out there. But the criticism to this bill is coming loud and strong from the technology sector. Companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, eBay, they are all against this bill. They say it stifles innovation and it infringes on First Amendment rights. Joining me now is one of the louder voices in this fight against SOPA, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. And Alexis, your company you helped found, Reddit, has been leading a charge really to even encourage costly boycotts of companies that are supporting this. Why are you concerned about this bill?
Well, you know, if SOPA or PIPA were in effect, the success that Steve Huffman and I had starting Reddit simply could not have happened. And that goes for any user-generated website. Under these laws, they simply would have been shut down before a few weeks had gone by, and all this innovation we love and enjoy just would have never happened, not to mention all the jobs would have been lost.
Now, why would it have the ability to shut it down? Because it isn't necessarily a switch on the internet, but if there's content on a site, the search engine itself, a Google or a Yahoo, could be essentially blacked out?
Yes, yeah, and you know, there are current tools in place right now to help protect copyright. Things like the DMCA worked in a way that let YouTube, let Reddit, let Twitter, let them exist because we can take down with notice the copyright infringing content. On user-generated websites, so much content gets submitted that you really cannot be responsible for all of it in real time. And what this legislation does is say that even if, let's say, someone put a tutorial about how to circumvent the current regulations in order to get to a site like Pirate Bay on a site like Reddit or a site like Facebook or a site like Twitter, because of the anti-circumvention sections of these laws, those sites are considered illegal, and that's just something that's frankly not sustainable at all.
So how do you come to a compromise, though? Because I know you're lobbying in Washington, a number of tech companies are, but so is the movie industry, because they say stop putting our stuff out there for free. We want to protect our investments. So that puts the pressure back on a company like Google or even Reddit to police themselves.
Yes, well, so the problem here is just that there are sites that are providing this illegal content. They're just not us. They're not the massive tech industry that's providing all these jobs, that's providing all this wealth creation in America right now. And the worry is that in creating this legislation about something, frankly, they don't understand, Congress is going to obliterate an entire tech industry here in the U.S. as collateral damage. And I just simply think that more government intervention is just not the answer here.
Well, at the same time, I mean, the movie industry isn't going to back down and say, oh, okay, you guys are going to try harder. They're going to say, no, we need protection for our product. So where's the compromise in between? Is there one? Unfortunately,
the way this technology works, we've run into this problem where the onus has to be put on the private sector to come up with creative solutions in order to fight piracy. Well, one of the best examples that happened 2 weeks ago was a comedian named Louis C.K. decided to provide his latest comedy show on the internet for $5. And he said, you can torrent this if you want, but I'd rather you pay me. He made $1 million. $1 million from putting this thing out there for $5 saying, here's a PayPal button, give me money if you like, please don't torrent it, but I know you can. That's the kind of approach that I want to see because it's innovative, because it's the private sector solving its own problem. And, you know, like I said, more government just isn't the key.
Well, Reddit has also helped lead the charge against this, including pushing for some boycotts of sites. This has had real cost for GoDaddy, which was one of the sites, a public company, that had come out in support of SOPA. They've backed down.
Yes.
Who are you targeting now?
Well, so that's the magic of Reddit. It's not up to me, it's not up to the administrative team, it's the community. And that's an important note. GoDaddy actually co-authored these bills, and yet they, within a week, turned their entire attitude around. And I think that shows a lot about the bills in place, because if you've got a company that actually went ahead and helped author it, but was so quick to change their mind on it, that leads me to believe that I think there are plenty others who realize that this is actually just some bad legislation.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce is for it. Yahoo said, whoa, we don't like this. We don't want to be part and parcel of your support. But how do you then lead this charge? I mean, I know there's been talk on Reddit, not by the company, but by the users, about targeting certain members of Congress as well. Who needs to have a little bit of education? As you say, they don't understand what they're writing?
Yes, I think, here's the big difference. If you look at the tech sector, and actually Politico had a great infographic about it, the tech sector, whether it's large companies like Google, Facebook, or small startups, like the ones working out of apartments here in New York right now, we don't have a big lobbying presence. When you consider the amount of money that the other side has put into this, we simply have been spending our money innovating instead of lobbying. And so we're at a huge disadvantage there. So our only hope is that the educated electorate calls their representatives, calls their senators, and lets them know that this isn't something to be messing with. Because at the end of the day, these legislators are still beholden to their bosses, to the voters, and not to lobbyists.
Now, and we've seen a number of big names in the VC world come out and
every single one of them
say, don't do this. Well, Alexis, it's good talking to you. Haven't been on the show in a while.
I missed you.
But getting you down to the floor, you had to put on a jacket. I consider that an accomplishment.
My grandfather always makes my grandfather happy when I'm wearing a suit.
Left the hoodie at home. Thanks for explaining that, Alexis. We're going to continue to monitor what happens in Washington in that battle.